It all started on a seemingly ordinary evening, just a regular night with my family. We were all relaxing at home when suddenly the phone rang out of nowhere. I didn't think much of it at first, assuming it was probably a wrong number or just some silly prank call. But boy, was I wrong. The moment I picked up the phone, a chilling silence greeted me from the other end. There was no voice, just this eerie breathing that sent shivers down my spine. It felt like I was being watched, even though I was safe in my own house. At first I tried to brush it off, telling myself it was just a one-time thing, but then it kept happening night after night. The calls became a recurring nightmare, always coming at the stroke of midnight, as if the caller knew exactly when to strike fear into my heart. With each call, my fear grew, but so did my curiosity. I couldn't stand the mystery of it all, so one night I decided to take matters into my own hands. I set up a recording device by the phone, hoping to capture any sound the caller might make. As the clock struck midnight, I held my breath, waiting for the phone to ring once more. The silence was deafening, but then the eerie breathing returned, seeping through the phone's speakers like a chilling whisper. The next day I played back the recording, and my heart skipped a beat when I heard it, a faint whisper in the background. It was barely audible, but it was there, sending chills down my spine. I couldn't make out the words, but I knew there was something sinister behind those breaths. This only fueled my determination to get to the bottom of this creepy mystery. With the help of my best friend Mia, who happens to be a tech genius, we began tracing the calls. To our surprise, they were coming from various public places across town. It was like the caller was always on the move, always one step ahead of us. We spent days investigating, trying to catch a glimpse of this elusive person, but every time we got close, they seemed to vanish without a trace. As the days turned into weeks, the anxiety weighed heavily on me. I couldn't sleep, always on edge, waiting for that unsettling call to come. It was like I was living in a never-ending nightmare, and I couldn't escape. But then, just when we were about to give up, Mia stumbled upon an old news article about a missing teenager named Lily. The article spoke of her mysterious disappearance years ago, after receiving eerie silent calls just like mine. It sent a shiver down my spine, making me realize that I might be connected to this long-forgotten tragedy. The pieces of the puzzle started falling into place, leading Mia and me down a dark path filled with secrets and unsolved mysteries. We uncovered a web of deceit and betrayal, and the truth was far more horrifying than we could have ever imagined. It turned out that the silent caller wasn't just some ghostly presence or prankster. They were a living person, someone who held the key to the dark secret that had haunted our town for years. I can't believe how surreal and terrifying this whole experience turned out to be. After Mia and I discovered that the silent caller was not just some harmless prankster, but a psychopathic killer, we knew we had stumbled into something beyond our wildest nightmares. It was like we had been plunged into a real-life horror movie, and there was no turning back. With fear and determination gnawing at my heart, Mia and I decided to intensify our investigation. We spent countless nights poring over any clue we could find, connecting the dots, and trying to understand the twisted mind of this killer. It was a daunting task, but we couldn't just stand by while an evil force roamed freely, preying on innocent people. Late one night, Mia managed to trace the calls back to an old, run-down building at the outskirts of town. It was an abandoned factory, a place that sent chills down my spine just thinking about it. But we knew that confronting the killer head-on was the only way to put an end to this nightmare. As we cautiously approached the eerie building, our footsteps echoing in the darkness, I could feel the weight of danger hanging in the air. I gripped Mia's hand tightly, drawing strength from our unyielding bond, but the terror in my heart refused to subside. Suddenly, the sound of creaking floorboards broke the silence, and I froze in place. Mia and I exchanged nervous glances, knowing that we weren't alone in that desolate place. The killer was near, and the thought sent a shiver down my spine. With every step we took, the tension mounted. My heart was pounding in my ears, and the adrenaline surged through my veins, but I knew I couldn't let fear paralyze me. Lily's life depended on us, and we couldn't falter now. Finally, we reached the heart of the factory, and there, amidst the shadows, stood the chilling figure of the psychopathic killer. Their eyes glinted with a sinister gleam, and their twisted grin sent chills down my spine. It was like staring into the abyss of evil itself. As the killer taunted us, boasting about their malevolent deeds, I felt a mix of terror and anger swell inside me. Lily's abduction was their doing, and I couldn't bear the thought of them inflicting harm on anyone else. In that moment, I knew we had to act, and act fast. Mia and I had prepared for this confrontation, and we weren't going to back down now. We made our move, and with a swift and unexpected attack, we managed to disarm the killer and subdue them. But the danger wasn't over. The killer may have been caught, but they were cunning and relentless. As we tried to restrain them, they fought back with all their strength, and I realized just how dangerous and deranged they truly were. With each passing moment, I feared for our lives, but we couldn't let this opportunity slip away. We needed to ensure that the killer would face justice for their heinous crimes, and that Lily would be safe. Summoning every ounce of courage and determination, Mia and I managed to overpower the killer and immobilize them. We called the police and waited, our hearts pounding in our throats as the sound of sirens grew closer. Relief washed over us when the police arrived, taking the killer into custody. It was a moment of triumph, knowing that we had played a part in bringing this dangerous individual to justice. But the horror of it all lingered. The knowledge that we had crossed paths with a psychopathic killer, and that Lily had endured unimaginable horrors at their hands, haunted my thoughts. I couldn't shake the feeling that evil lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike again. As the days passed, Mia and I slowly returned to our normal lives, but the experience left a lasting impact on us. We learned the true value of friendship and the strength we could draw from each other in the face of darkness. This chilling encounter opened my eyes to the horrors that could hide behind seemingly ordinary facades. It reminded me that evil could exist in the world, and that sometimes we have to confront it head-on to protect those we care about. To this day, the memory of that night lingers in my mind, a constant reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the corners of our lives. But it also serves as a testament to the power of bravery, determination, and the unbreakable bond of friendship. And though I may never be the same after this spine-chilling experience, I know that I will always cherish the courage that helped me face the true horrors that lay hidden in the shadows.